feels like Nigerians work so hard to create these African categories across all this award, and Tyla is the one winning it, reaping the benefit. The Nigerian music industry and the artists, they should be ready and willing to lose more Grammys. It's not a Nigerian award, it's an American award, and Americans will set their own standard, and we have to accept it. Yeah, so the Grammy finally happened, and it's been a lot of massive reactions from Nigerians. And so let's just get straight into it. Number one question is, why are Nigerians angry that Tyla won? Because there's been a lot of angry reactions, and I'll keep it simple, I'll keep it straightforward. I think many Nigerians are angry, number one, because they wanted a Nigerian to win. Simple. A couple of Nigerians are nominated in that category, and people were particularly interested in Davido winning, because it just felt like it was a perfect moment for him to win. He's done enough. He's been consistent, and he had a very strong song as well. Like With You was a very strong song as well. So there's that expectation. I felt like it was the expectation that he would win, even from the taste makers, the fans. There's this expectation that, okay, is this going to be his year? This should be his year. Is he finally going to bring it home this year? So I feel like the fact that he didn't win was a bit disappointing for a lot of people. Even if there's a part where it's expected, so to say, it's not surprising that Tyla won, because if you remember last episode, we said if there's anyone standing in Davido's way of winning, it's Tyla, because she had a strong song. When we look at that song, Push to Start, it's done well. It has over 400 million streams on Spotify. It's huge. It's the only song from all the nominated songs that debuted in the Hot 100. And if you understand that commercial success in the US plays a fundamental, maybe not a fundamental role, but based on precedence, it plays a role in the voting process. It's when she won with Water, it was the biggest song. When Love Me Yeah won, it was one of the biggest songs, right? So this year, it felt like if they're following that precedent and our proximity to that market, our standing, our positioning, everything is in our favor. Of course, she's going to win. So yeah, but that understanding, that knowledge that she could win doesn't eliminate or remove the expectation that people wanted Davido to win or a Nigerian to win, and the disappointment they suffered from that. So again, I would like to say something that it's just quite unfortunate and sad that this outrage, this disappointment is being, to an extent, it's beginning to look like it's kind of like discredits Tyla for what she's done, because again, she's a deserving winner. The music is great. Her success is huge. She deserves to be where she is. She deserves to win the award. So I feel like this, this expectation, this disappointment that people who wanted the Nigerian to win, I feel like it's discrediting her. I feel like it's kind of come across as she's not getting enough credit. So it feels like our win is being brought under a microscope, to examine every single detail and determine if she's a deserving winner or not, and which kind of like just ruins the moment for her a bit. Maybe not ruin the moment, but it just like belittles everyone involved. So, and I don't think that's really nice. So we have to pay attention to that. When you are, even in your disappointment, you don't want to come across as disrespectful, as xenophobic. She's still African. She has a good song. She deserves to win. So you have to also respect that as well. You have to be gracious in defeat. So yeah, and so I think another factor that made a lot of people disappointed is that for some people, even within the ecosystem, there's this feeling that if I should use vernacular, it feel like monkey they walk, but when they chop. But not to disrespect anybody, but it feel like, okay, this is a category that Nigerians, work tooth and nail, put a lot of effort to make it happen. Especially Nigerians in diaspora, then through the success of Nigerians here, the Nigerian artists, the success that couldn't be ignored in the US, the contributions of people like Burna Boy, Wizkid, in like making the Grammy recognize their work. All these things come together to lead to the creation of this category. And now that has been created, it feels like Nigerians are no longer the people winning it. It feels like Nigerians work so hard to create these African categories across all this award, and Tyla is the one winning it, reaping the benefit. And it's just the reality. It is what it is. It's not her fault. It's not her fault that she's talented. It's not her fault that she makes good music. It's not her fault that she's usually successful. So right now, she's the one in that position. She's the one best positioned to reap the benefit of these things. Tomorrow it can be someone else. Next year, to be honest, I think it's still her, but because she has Chanel and that song is already going crazy. But again, it's eras change, so it's just not. It's not our fault. It's just what happened. And yeah, Nigerians did the groundwork. Yeah, Nigeria made things happen, but that's what it means to be a pioneer. That's what it means to open the doors for other people. Nigerians open the door for other people to walk in today's style. Tomorrow it can be someone from Congo. The next day can be someone from Algeria, can be someone from Somalia. So it's just what it means to move as a continent. One person is leading, one person paved the way, but others will follow and others will benefit from it. So we have to be able to open our mind to embrace that reality. Now, so on the category itself, I think there's a bit of confusion on the nature and essence of the category. I think it's what contributed to the issues we're having, the whole disappointment and the outrage. I think some people are confusing the category for an Afrobeat category. The name of the category is the African Music Performance category, not the Afrobeat Music Performance category. So that means that all songs from Africa, all songs carrying African influences, sonic influences, whether mainstream or indigenous, is open to nomination, can be nominated, whether it's Afrobeat, whether it's Amapiano, whether it's Three Step, whether it's Akeda, whether it's Kwetu, whether it's Sukus, whether it's Coupe Dikale, whether it's Bongo Flavor, whatever genre of music that originates from Africa is open, can be nominated. So I think there's that confusion that it's an Afrobeat category. No, it's not an Afrobeat category. It just happened that Afrobeat is the leading sound, and Afrobeat stars, because of their success internationally and their proximity to the US market, would of course dominate the category, because at the end of the day, these people are signed to the biggest labels, they have the biggest songs, and they have the resources to push their song to be in that category. But it's not an Afrobeat category, it's an African music category. So Tyla is African, and the song itself now, I think to an extent, it's Afrobeat in terms of its sonics, especially the production. If you hear the percussion, the percussive arrangement. Speaking of the song that was nominated itself, Tyla's song, Push to Start, I think it has African element in terms of the production, which kind of similar to the way Afrobeat songs are produced to an extent. It's a bit more refined, it's a bit more westernized, but if you listen to the percussion, the drum arrangements, you understand that, okay, this carries Afrobeat element in terms of the drums, in terms of the production. Also, the people who worked on these songs, they're African. Sami Soso, Arioa, Samuel Awuku, these are people who write, these are people who could write the songs with her. These are co-writers, and these are Nigerians, these are Africans. So, of course, it's definitely an African music performance. The song should be nominated. The song deserves to be nominated. Yes, it is a bit very westernized in terms of the writing, in terms of the cadence, which is what... So it's a bit westernized in terms of the writing, in terms of the cadence, which is where the confusion, so to say, is for some people who think, okay, this sounds like a Yankee person making Afrobeat. Does that now make it Afrobeat, so to say? But at the end of the day, it is the song itself you have to consider. And because Afrobeat kind of African songs, in terms of the sonics, in terms of the composition, you have to look at the language, you have to look at the cadence, the delivery, the production. So for Tyla, the productions always embrace some sort of Afro-pop element, but the cadence doesn't. The lyrics really does. The delivery doesn't. The delivery, the cadence, the writings are always westernized pop, American pop music, but the production still steps in the territory of Afrobeat, which matters, right? So now that, we have to also consider the fact that in this category, even people who don't make African, quote unquote, African music, but Africans might be able to be nominated. They can be nominated because Molly, for example, our song Shake It to the Max just missed nomination because the remix was submitted, not the original, and it didn't meet Grammy's original content quota. Now, if had it were nominated, that means she was simply nominated because she's Ghanaian, not because the song is an African song, because that song is dancehall. It's dancehall. It's a clear dancehall song. But if she was nominated, it means that they factor in the fact that she's an African, she's Ghanaian. So the reality would be that if people like Rema, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido, Amare, everyone like the big Thames, Arasta, Ashake, if they make songs that are maybe R&B, like clear R&B, maybe hip-hop, maybe American pop, maybe Latin pop music, if they make these songs that are not African, if this song blew up and have tangible success in the US, these songs could be nominated just off the fact that they are African. They're Africans, right? So I think this is a bit of a confusion for some people, and I think the category itself still needs a bit of contextualization. I think it's being conflated with Afrobeat and African music. People are conflating both. So I think there's still a bit of confusion as to this category for some people. There's no clarity as to what type of song should be nominated, what constitutes African song performance. Is it the identity? Is it the music? So those questions need to be clarified. I think they need to clarify, what is the core of this category itself? If it's the music, to what extent should the African sonics be present? Should it be substantial, or should it be in walking? Should it be in passing? If just a bit of the drums, maybe I just sprinkle a bit of log drums on it, is that sufficient to be called African music if it lacks the language, if it lacks the cadence, if it lacks the style of delivery? Or does it have to be core? Does this have to have like a 40%, so to say, African identity in terms of the sonics for it to be called African, for it to qualify as African music performance, right? And also in terms of even the success, it's an American award. So as it stands, it looks like the success in the US is the predominant factor. It's what is prioritized. If a song is big in the US, it stands a better chance. If it doesn't matter if the song is big outside the US and across Africa, which is the case of With You. If you look at With You, for example, With You is huge in Nigeria. With You is huge outside Africa. And every time they do perform that song when it was on tour, it was a banger. People were losing their minds. But sadly, in the US, the song didn't really go that far. The song didn't chart on the Hot 100. And I'm not even sure if it made it into the bubbling like Hot 100. So it wasn't that big in the US compared to a Push to Start that was at least huge. Like big in the US, it was to an extent it in the US, right? So I think those factors. So you have to ask, okay, it has to be the US. If it's not the US, maybe it doesn't, like it's you don't have like the big chances. So these things need to be clarified. I think this clarity, right? Ultimately, right, this clarity, understanding the essence of this category will make nominations more clearer, and also would maybe lead the Grammys to a point where they understand that, okay, maybe there should be more subcategories under the African categories to just appreciate the diversity and multiplicity in African music. You understand? Because at the end of the day, their diversity, their indigenous African music, their contemporary African music, right? And how do we separate these things, right? So, and also how do we want to reward excellence? Are we rewarding musical excellence in terms of compositional achievements and artistic depth, or are we rewarding commercial excellence in terms of chart performances, sales, and virality? These things need to be determined, and I think determining this will also help to clarify this genre and this category. So, clarify this category and make sure we do not return to this debate next year, because next year, like all things equal, Tyla Chanel look like he's going to win it. It's a huge song right now. All things equal, 2027 Grammys, Tyla Chanel look like he's going to win it, and it deserves it based off what we know so far. We've come to learn about that category. So, like, the clarity would help people avoiding this struggle, this fight that, okay, this is it, this is that, this person should have won it, Nigeria should have won it, this and that. So I think that will go a long way. So lastly, what should be the way forward for Nigeria as it relates to the Grammy? First of all, what I would say is that it is now clear that the Grammys is the most important award in Nigerian music. It is the truth. Let's not even pretend anymore. The Grammys is the most important award in Nigerian music, because, I mean, we've spent days talking about this. The whole year people have been waiting for this, because it feels like that's the only award that can now reward some sort of like excellence in Nigerian music, which shouldn't be the case, but it is what it is, right? So how should we approach it? Number one, Nigerian artists and Nigerians, we need to understand that the Grammys is not a Nigerian award. I'm sorry, it's not a Nigerian award, it's an American award. It's going to be awarded. Whoever wins the award is based off the criteria of the Americans, and it's based off what the voters think matters to them, not what matters to us as Nigerians, not what matters to me, not what matters to you, maybe not what matters to South Africa and a Ghanaian, someone from Congo. I don't think it plays on their mind that much. What matters to them is that, okay, as Americans, how big did this song do in our own country? How relevant is this song to our own space? I think that's what kind of like matters to them right now, not how big the song is in Nigeria or in Africa. So we have to appreciate that fact. And it's not a Nigerian award, it's an American award, and Americans will set their own standard, and we have to accept it. You have to accept it. And we have to understand that this is an award that's existed for 69 years. It took them 69 years. It took them decades and decades to be where they are today. It's not something that happened overnight. And if we want to be part of it, we have to accept the way that they choose to involve us in it. If we want an award that will reward African excellence, that will reward Nigerian excellence, we have to create our own, and we have to be consistent. We have to deliver the quality to scale it over time. And maybe in 40 years' time, we'll have something that is so huge and be so relevant as the Grammys. So that's one of the major takeaways. So yeah, that's it. It's not a Nigerian award. You have to accept it. You cannot be cheated. We don't have to risk having this this what's the word now? That entitlement mindset that, oh, we lost it with this and that. Yeah, we've done the work, we put the groundwork. It took a lot of decades, a lot of hard work from different people to get to this position. And you have to always give credit to these people. At the end of the day, when you open the door, other people walk into that door, right? They walk through that door, and sometimes you're not always the one that will get, like, reap the reward. But it's what it is. It's not a Nigerian award, and we have to accept that. If we want an award that will appreciate the local context, that will appreciate our own nuances, and will truly and honestly reward excellence in Nigerian music, we have to build that award and do it truthfully, do it with quality, and be consistent with it, and not cut corners, and not have off seasons and whatnot, right? Because at the end of the day, credibility comes off quality and consistency, and how long you've continued to show up year after year. Yeah, so and lastly, when I think in 2024, when Tyla first won and people were angry, I wrote an article. Then I said, see, fuck it, you cannot be entitled. She deserves to win. She's won it. So at the end of the day, the Grammys is not a Nigerian award, and it will reward those it believes are fit to be rewarded based off the criteria set by its own members and its own voters, what appeals to them. But I think excellence will always be rewarded sooner or later. That's what I see. Excellence, hard work will always be rewarded sooner or later. Look at Fela, for example. 29 years after his passing, he's been rewarded. He's been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammy. He's the first African to receive that award. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. If Fela was alive, I don't think he would have cared for that award. Knowing who Fela was, I don't think Fela, actually an award from the white man, he wouldn't have, the thoughts alone would have mortified him. But his hard work, his consistency, the quality of the materials he left behind, and the impact he left couldn't be ignored, and he's been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award as the first African. So yeah, everyone should embrace that mindset, embrace quality, want to do, like, apply yourself, give yourself to quality. Maybe someday too, you can be able to walk Fela's shoes. What Nigerian music industry needs to do as it relates to the Grammy is that they should be ready and willing to lose more Grammys. That's what it is. The Nigerian music industry and the artists, they should be ready and willing to lose more Grammys, because it shows that you are getting nominated. It shows that your work is getting recognized, and it shows that you're getting closer to the win. Because the more you lose, possibly the more you build more pedigree. And getting more nominations shows that there's an upward mobility in Nigerian music. So yeah, I'll say the Nigerian music industry and the artists, get ready to lose more Grammys.